getting noisy, it's getting near feeding time. It's going in one end and it's coming out the other. And I have to work away at it because everything's money. I'm buzzing, I can't wait for this. This is our parlour. For it. What's happening, folks? This is DrewTube. Welcome to the farm. Today I'm going to be doing a wee farm tour, so hopefully you all enjoy. Done one a few years back, but I think my presenting skills has got a little bit better since then, and there's been a few changes since then, and there's a few things upcoming, so I feel it's time I got started with another one. So these are our two reasonably full silage pits. We actually just finished doing fourth cut silage just there last week, so that pit there on the left just got happed. We've got a decent amount of stuff, so hopefully we don't need to buy anything this year. I'm saying hopefully, but there's no telling how long the winter's going to be and how wet it's going to be in spring and how long we need to keep things in for. Not ideal. Moving on down here, we've got our dung midden, which has also been used as a silage pit this year. We've filled it twice with silage. I got first cut in it, I used all of it, and then I put second cut in it, used all of it. And that meant I didn't need to open any of these pits just yet. And now, we had no room for dung, so we started filling this front as time was going on, which wasn't ideal, but there's nothing else you can do about it, because one thing is guaranteed, it's going in one end and it's coming out the other. This is the haylage stack, so there's a pad under here that there's a right wet bit of the field, so Dad started filling it in with rubble and whatnot, and we've now got a nice solid pad, so that's where all the hay bales go. We've got some gang slats ready to go in this shed behind me, because those slats are getting fair gubbed, they're getting a fair age, and they're not really wanting to break any coos' feet, you know. Behind me here is the slurry tower. I think it's 900,000 gallon. I used to say it was 1 million, but it turns out it's not, so I was quite annoyed about that. But Dad said we bought it and then we couldn't afford to put it up, so it sat in the shed that long. He forgot how big it was, and I was young at the time, so I wasn't really paying any attention. Like, I was really young, and so I just took his word for it when he put it up and said it was 1 million gallon. So it took like 2 or 3 years, maybe more than that, for it to get put up, because milk price crashed. So aye. Anyway, a bit about the farm. We milk around 200 cows, we do a bit of everything ourselves. We do some barley, we do all our own silage, and we spread all our own slurry. We've got our own umbilical system here. I was doing that this morning, spreading out the field. Across the road we've got a pipe that goes under the road and out, so that's fantastic, helps us get on. Can put out a lot of slurry that way. We run a lot of older kind of kit. It's old, but it's not ridiculously old, apart from the likes of the 135s, and I've got an old Doots here that goes on this feed wagon. We've got another Doots that goes on another feed wagon, because well, I'd ideally be using that feed wagon all the time, but it doesn't have a auger, a feed conveyor that lifts the feeding up and drops it in the trough, so instead that one feeds in the ground. We bought it 2 or 3 years back because we were running low on silage, so we were mixing haylage and straw, and our other wagon can't take it, so we had to buy that so it would chop it and it would actually feed out, which actually saved our necks a bit. But the young stock were shitting bricks, so yeah, it was what it was. But so this shed here is our barley store, so we grow quite a lot of our own, and we buy in some as well just after the harvest. So this pit's just been finished tapped. We finished harvest end of last week, so I bruised everything as well. We've got our own bruiser. I'm feeding out of this pile, and so this shed here, it got put up a few years back. This is our straight store, so I've got maize and dark grains in here, and we've got 2 roller doors that we should use more often, but we don't. Aye, fair handy, it's a good wee shed. The other end at the moment's got straw and the beet pulp in there and whatnot. I'll show you that in a minute. But aye, this is our old cubicle shed and slatted shed here. So this straw court on the right, it used to be our Old milking parlour. It was a 8-a-side, but when it got ripped out for the new parlour up the top, the 14-a-side rapid exit, we filled it with straw, and new calved cows or anything that's had issues gets flung in here, or maybe they're a bit sore or sore feet, get flung in here. And Dad's got his foot crush here on the side, so roll over crush. Anything that's coming out the parlour that's needing its feet done gets put down the old race and gets its feet done and released either back into the main lot or kept in the straw. So this is our old cubicle house. Holds the majority of the main lot, I'd say, but there's another shed out the back of the parlour. These are bollocks we've got at the moment. They're heading for the market soon, or we'll decide if price keeps up whether to keep them and fatten them right through, because we do generally do that. We try and fatten everything up to finishing and sell them on after that. But this shed here, it got re-roofed last year, I think it was, and it's made a big difference because it was gubbed. This old valley gutter was absolutely humped, and it was raining in the shed, and in our Scottish climate and limited storage, we weren't really needing that because, well, we weren't needing to be spreading slurry all the time, you know. It was shocking, but that's made a massive difference. Again, about the breed, so we milk Holstein Friesians. We try and keep a bit of Friesian through them because we do fatten cattle generally. The bullocks or the males, we keep them and it keeps a bit of weight on them, and the cows do away alright as well, so that's the main thing. So we recently refurbed the cubicles in here too. Can't remember if it was 2 or 3 years ago we put all these new cubicles in because they were all rotten. So it's made a big difference to this shed too. The fact that the cubicles aren't all broken and their cows aren't lying in 2 or 3 cubicles covering it in shite, is a polite way to put it, I think. But no, the cubicles are far cleaner and the cows are doing far better in here because of it. And recently installed some more lights because there was none. So it was a fair dark hole of a place, to be honest with you. There's been a big difference ever since then. So, and on the right here's our dry cows at the moment because it's been such a terrible summer. The grass hasn't really been there, and the dry cows, they were melting away, so we had to bring them in. So that's only been in the last, is it 2-3 weeks? I think they've been in, which has been a shame. But it is what it is. You've got to look after them. Treacle tower, soya bin, and this is the old tank room in there for the old parlour, where we now store all our minerals. And there's the old doots I was talking about with the old wagon. Causes me nothing but hassle. But yep, here's the remaining of the straw. We had to buy some in, and some dark grains. I actually kind of wish the shed was set up with 4 bays rather than that, you know. It's 4 bays of concrete panels. It might have held a bit more room, I think. But it's done now. New calf shed up here at the top. It's been a great wee investment. It's a shame it's not bigger, but it is what it is. It's been doing really well. The calves have been doing really well in it. Sister's been keeping an eye on them all. She's the calf rearer, so she pressure washes everything, keeps everything clean, and the calves, they're doing very well. So it's actually got a louver system at the other side that hasn't been rigged up yet, unfortunately. The lecky man hasn't put the electricity in the shed, so the louvers can't open and shut with the temperatures. We've also got these roller doors at the front to open and close depending on how harsh the winter is and whatnot. So bedded on the straw, get a wee bit of straw in their heck, and there's a slatted tank at the front for any pish, and it's on a wee angle to help it all run this way and stay drier for longer. So yeah, ideal. We still use quite a few of our original buildings. So here is our old stable. Well, it's not our old stable, I never used it for horses anyway, but the horses that originally worked the farm were living in there, and now we keep young stock, or young calves in there, sorry. Behind us is the Reed. My grandpa, pretty sure it was him that redesigned it, this shed here, to be a slatted shed. So the only thing that can fit through here is that 135 over there. The house is quite a lot of cattle in here, to be fair. But again, slats are in need of repair in places. But aye, no, we keep on top of them pretty good every year, so there's never any accidents. Aye, that's an old dung spreader. Well, it's a dung spreader conversion into a box, which then divides the silage between the two sides of cattle. My sister ran out of space for calves this year, so they ended up in here too. Earlier on in the summer there was a big batch all calved at once, so all of this is to be scraped out very soon. Just haven't got around to it yet because we've been that busy over the top with everything. So alright, this is the old coach house, which also houses young calves. The old barn, which used to have all the barley up the stairs and whatnot, but it's now just used to house general stuff. Sometimes fertiliser, sometimes this, sometimes that. Dad's garage, just anything you can think of goes in there. The stable actually used to have all the haylage up in the roof, but it's no longer used for that because we don't deal with wee square bales anymore. This cubicle shed here was the new shed when I was in high school or primary school, I just can't remember which. House is about 90 in the cubicles. And this is the back of the parlour. This shed actually used to be the silage pit for the farm, so it was the only indoor silage pit we ever had. Everything else is outdoor now, but that's what that was. And then when we moved to parlours, it got converted into the parlour shed. Well, it was a straw court and whatnot before. Can just mind that. And now it's where we milk the cows and yeah, whatnot. But this got added on the back of it, and it's been a great added addition. So we're now up the back of it, which is you can see the length of it if it's bright enough. It's quite dark down the far end, but it's a fair length of a shed when you look at it, because it's basically 3 sheds. But aye, so these cubicles on the left there, they were put in last year I'm sure, but they were amazing, made a massive difference, because before it was, we tried flexi cubicles that just all wrecked themselves, but I think they were Dad's homemade ones, which they didn't do very well, but that is what it is. He tried, it was fair. Aye, this is feed passage alongside the shed that goes right down to the other end, so you've got the old shed there with the feed passage in the middle, and then the outdoor feed passage here, and then a lean-to that's off that shed on the right is the issue as to why we can't upgrade to a larger wagon or tractor. That is a restrictor there. And you will have seen it in my last couple of videos of this shed on the left. This is our new shed. Well, sheds. There's 2 here, but it's actually 1, but it's 2 because of the valley gutter in the middle. Cannot wait for this shed to be finished. So this shed's replacing and an upgrade. So there was a Dutch barn in the middle there, down the far end, and a lean-to off of it, and an old cubicle house, and it housed the calving lot, the bulls lot with the heifers and straw and whatnot in the Dutch barn. But this shed's a massive upgrade for us, so hopefully in the future this will be all for the milking herd, because it's big, it's airy, it's going to be spacey, and it's going to be better for them. So that's the plan eventually, but we're going to have to work away at it because everything's money. This is the bulls lot with the heifers here, so this is his next batch. They were out earlier in the summer, but grass was getting short and it was easier to deal with it this way. So yeah, the calving lot's next door. Got quite a few in the calving lot at the moment, so there's going to be a burst of calves at some point, so that was going to be great fun. That should be in the bulls lot. How did you get wee bugger jumped out the other day there, and the dairyman must have launched it in there instead of putting it back where it should be. The far end of the shed here's for calves, but it just depends. You can open it into the next couple of bays depending on where you're at, so that's how it works. And got a cake tower here, an old one that has to be inside because of the issues with holes in it and whatnot, but that keeps it good. Sawdust for bedding the cows. The shed folk are getting on really well. Their next stage here is putting the roof on, so the nets went up today and a couple of bays of wood, so they should be able to horse on very soon with getting the roof up, so that'll be fantastic. And the ends will be going on the shed too. There's all the roof there too, sitting there waiting, ready to go on. I'm buzzing, I can't wait for all this. It's getting noisy, it's getting near feeding time, but this is our old byre. My sister finished cleaning it not that long ago, but the byre used to be down this end, tank room used to be in that vicinity of the house, and the cake was up the stairs and they used to shovel them down these chutes there. But aye, this is all the young calves that are in here now, and they're all looking very well. Some haylage to keep them going. Really need to get a new windsock because it made a massive difference in the winter. When it gets weather changes a lot, it gets kind of muggy and then really cold and then muggy, and it's not good for the calves. They get pneumonia and it's not good, so that really helped, but the wind caught it and it got shook to bits. This is our tank room. Into the washroom with all the chemicals, and this is our parlour. So as I said before, 14 aside, rapid exit. All the individual head yokes and the dividers. You just press one of these buttons here, a green or the red, and it lets the whole lot out at once. It's very speedy. We've got a teat brush as well, one of the air ones from Northern Dairy Equipment, and it's very good. It's a lot quicker at cleaning the teats. You'll notice there's a lot of Highland Spring water bottles hanging up, and that is my dad's invention. So you'll see here that these pipes are connected at the back to the water bottle, so it just holds the unit up and down and the water bottle stays in place. It's just a perfect weight for it, and stops the unit falling off because they're metal units, so they're quite heavy, you know, so they're quite a pain in the arse actually when they all fall off. Cows exit the parlour down here into the old shed and round and out, or up the lean-to that you've seen earlier. And these are the head yokes. You can take one out at a time and whatnot with these latches. Just lift up and away they go. Anyway folks, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. This is our farm, and if you want to see anything in the future, let me know in the comments. Machinery tour or field tour or a brief going over of some of the farm's history, just let us know and I'll discuss things with my dad and see if I can figure some stuff out. See you all next time. Make sure and subscribe and like this video.